Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tip Betting Tips. I trust you're having a fantastic evening and you're getting ready for the racing that's going to be taking place out at Turffontein. Just to let you know that on Thursday, the postman predicted the bar pot for a 216 outlay. It returned R1,000, so that was fantastic from the postman. And then the Cowboys best bet, Red Sash, one for the patrons at 14-10. So that was fantastic. And the kids value bet, Happy Wanderer, returned R2.10 a place. So that's fantastic tipping from the team. Hopefully we can keep it going. So I'm going to hand over to the postman. He's going to be tipping out to Turffontein. So here's the postman.
Yeah, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, no matter where in the world you guys are. And for those that celebrate Diwali, all the best to you guys. Racing comes to us on Monday, the 24th of October from the Turffontein Inner Course. Guys, racing hasn't been great. On Thursday, we got the bipot, I think 8 times, so we showed a bit of profit there. But racing hasn't been great. That is why we are not giving you guys large perms to take, because you're going to spend too much and make too little. However, the card on Monday is not a bad card. I think it's worth getting involved in. There are 9 races carded. First is off at 1200 hours. It's a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. And when we go through this, we think it's a 2-horse race. Our first selection is horse number 8, Siberian Steel. King de Miller for Johan Janse van Vuren, nicely drawn at 5. Had one encouraging run, finishing 3rd at the course. Was slow off on that occasion, was staying on. The second horse has come out and won since, so the form of that run has been franked. And again, with natural improvement, I think that this is the right horse in the race. You're not going to get rich at 9-10, but guys, look for swingers or exactors. Our second selection here is horse number 6, and that is Mayor of Merivale. Calvin Habib for the Ashley Fortune Yard. Has had one run, finishing 5 lengths behind Spielberg. That was not a bad effort with Calvin aboard, was slow on that occasion, and was finishing off really, really well. Please take note that it is coming back from a 16-week layoff. But I think the break would have done this one all the good in the world, and I think certainly worth throwing in exactors and swingers. For third, guys, we've gone for the 2 Treyamishi. This is Muzieni for Robbie Sage. Again, this one has had 3 decent efforts and maybe good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. For fourth, we've gone for horse number 10, Above the World, Chase Marjan for Cornet Spiss, as he's got several rights for the Spiss yard. And I think that this again may be good enough for back ends of trifectas and quartets. So race 1, guys, we've gone 8, 6, 2 and 10, and 8 looks the right one there. We move on to race 2. This is off at 12:30, maiden plate for the girls over 1,600 meters. Guys, this is the first leg of our bipot. And on going through the form here, our first selection here is horse number 11. And this is Sparkling Jubilee. Again, we've got Keegan de Miller for the De Kock yard. We know how well Keegan has been riding. This has had one run, finishing 2nd behind Future Wolf. Muzieni was aboard that. Muzi has jumped off and he's taken the ride on horse number 3, Cape Lights. So again, guys, have a look at them going down, see if there's any support. But the reason we are going with 11 is drawn 6, where Muzi's horse is drawn 8. For second, I'm going for a Raffia. I'm going for horse number 2, Batik. Nathan Kling for Brett Weber. I'm putting a line through the last run. I think it was blatantly too far. When we go back and we look at the form of 16 or 1800, not too bad. And I do think that Batik is good enough to fill in a exacta and swinger spot. For third, I have gone for the 3 Cape Lights. As I said, Muzieni for Robbie Sage. I think this is the second favorite, round about 22 to 10. Is a second run after a rest. If this was drawn better, I think I could have made this my first choice. But because of the draw and the way it runs, maybe will be found wanting in the end. For fourth, guys, we've gone for the 12, and this is Tis Magic, Striker Stradum for the Terry Yard. Nasty drawn at 1. Pierre rode this one last time out. Was not a bad effort, finishing 5th on that occasion. And again, that was a first run back from a long rest. Will strip a lot fitter, and again, good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. So race 2, guys, we've gone 11, 2, 3, and 12. The third race on the card, you're off at 13.05, first leg of the place accumulator. And this is a maiden plate over 1,600 meters. Again, we go through this race here. Please take note, guys. Horse number 9, Ty Connell, has been scratched, leaves us with 8 runners. Doesn't make it any easier to choose the winner. However, my narrow first selection is horse number 1, Atlantic City, covering a bib for Clinton Binder. I know this one is drawn widest of all. However, when we go through and look, I don't think there'll be much pace. I think Calvin Bell to jump, and with the natural pace of this horse number 1, I think he will get over, and will certainly hit the straight in front and play catch me if you can. For second, I've gone for the 2, and this is Phantom of the Forest, Craig Zaki for Joey Somo. Craig rode this one last time out. Was a really decent effort, considering this one was drawn 10 out of 11. And again, I certainly think this one will be running on when others have cried enough. And again, certainly worth to be included in trifectas and swingers. For third, guys, we've gone for the 5, Labiscio, Ryan Munger for Tyron Zaki. Ryan rides really well for the yard. Third run after a rest, is coming back to 1,600 meters. And again, I think in this field, good enough to run a drum. For fourth, we have gone for horse number 8. And this is Labrucio. Philisande Ngoli getting the ride here for Grant Maroon. 2 runs back over 1,450 meters at the course. Finished only 5 lengths behind Trident King. I'm really scratching for something to run fourth, and that's why I've thrown in horse number 8. So race 3, I do think it's a match race between 1 and 2, and we've gone 1, 2, 5, and 8. We'll move on to the 4th race on the card. This is Joff at 1340, a graduation plate for the girls over 600 meters. And guys, this is the first leg of the pick 6. On going through this race, first selection here is horse number 9, Bless My Stars, carving a bib again for Sean Terry, carrying only 54.5, nicely drawn at 3. The penultimate run in the grade 1, great effort, a little disappointing last time out, although that was coming back from a rest. I do think that Bless My Stars will strip a lot fitter, and again will give a good account of herself and must be included in all exotics. For second, we've gone for the 1, Mike's Chick. Keegan DeMello retains a ride here for Mike de Kock. 2 negatives, drawn 8 out of 9, and carrying 60 kilos. But again, good enough to fill in second or third spot. For third, we've gone for horse number 2, Queen of Shadows. Craig Zaki for the Alec Laird yard. Last time out, this one ran in a feature race, finishing just over or just under 5.5 lengths behind the winner. Did have excuses, was switched in the latter stages, and again, maybe good enough to fill in one of the minor spots. For fourth, guys, we've gone for horse number 8, Intoxicating, JP van der Merwe for Candice Dawson. I know this is running or meeting a lot stronger than it did last time out, but that third, just over 2 lengths behind Quantum Theory and 2 lengths behind Maharani, these are decent efforts. And again, If you're taking pick sixes, maybe include all four. And we can certainly get a result here, and we can go light later on. So race 4, 9, 1, 2, and 8. The fifth race of the card, you're off at 14.15, met rated 96 handicap over 2,000 meters. And again, guys, I think this is quite a tricky event. My narrow first selection here is horse number 9, and this is King's Crusade. Julius Mariba for Joey Somo. Has got some really fair form. It's only carrying 52 kilos, so it's thrown in here. Nicely drawn at 3. Blinkers remain on as it did last time out. Was running on strongly last time out. And again, certainly will make those pick up their feet. For second, I've gone for horse number 1, Supreme Dance. Gav Arena gets the ride here for Brett Warren. Gavin rode 2 runs back, whereby he won. I think this will jump. I think will sit quite handy. We'll need a bit of luck to get over from that draw. But again, in an open event, good enough to run a drum. For third, I've gone for horse number 8, Flashy Apache. Ryan Munger for Tyrone Zaki. Ryan has ridden it on the last 2 occasions. Last time out was not a bad effort. Running on really well to finish second behind Bloomington. And again, that type of effort certainly put this horse in the frame. For fourth, guys, I've gone for horse number 5, Motown Magic. Nathan Klink getting the ride here for Mike de Kock. Last time out was first run back from a long rest. And I do think this will strip a lot fitter. And maybe the dark horse in the race. Again, if I'm taking exotics, I'm going to include all 4 selections, and we've gone 9, 1, 8, and 5. The 6th race on the card, you're off at 14.45, classified stakes over 2,000 meters. Another tricky event, yeah, and guys, we're looking to beat the favorites. My first selection is horse number 9, Last Cheer, Craig Zaki for St. John Gray. This one is currently around about 10 or 12 to 1. Last time out finished third, 3.5 lengths behind Pascal Samore. Lost a length on that day, was staying on, and again, I do think that this one will be there when the whips are cracking. For second, I've gone for horse number 10, Liverpool Legend, Ryan Munger again for St. John Gray. I'm hoping that St. John gets the exacta here. We're going to take a couple of exactas and swingers with these horses. Again, this one has got some good form, and I do believe that this one, again, will be in the money. For third, guys, we've thrown in horse number 1, Romeo's Magic. Gavin Arena again for Brett Warren. Won its penultimate start over this course and distance. Did run on well. Last time out, it's a side down a little. But again, I'm looking for an improved effort from horse 1. Cannot be left out of any permutations. For fourth, we've gone for horse number 6. This is Bally Magic. Keegan DeMiller for the Candace Dawson yard. Again, Keegan riding at the top of his game. This is a third run after a rest for this gelding. And if you can put field, put field. This is a really tough race, guys. For exotics, put all 4 selections here, and we've gone 9, 10, 1, and 6. We move on to the 7th race, guys. This is a feature race. I think it's due off at 15.15. A Pinnacle Stakes for the girls over 1,200 meters. Small field of 7. And this is where we find our banker. And we have gone for horse number 6, Gobsmacked. Keegan DeMiller, yeah, for Johan Janssen van Vuren. This one has won all 3 events that it's participated in. I know that it's coming back from a 12-week rest. However, carrying 52 kilos, I honestly don't know if horse number 1, which is our second selection, Sign of Warning, can give this one 10 kilos. And for that reason, I really think that Gobsmacked is the right one here, and we're going to banker in all our exotics. For second, as I said, we've gone for the 1, Sound of Warning, Samanga Kamala for Sean Tarry. Second run after rest. This will jump, will go, has early speed. And again, if Gobsmacked is left with too much to do, Sound of Warning may be a hard nut to crack. But 10 kilo swing in weights, I have to go for the 6. For third, we've gone for 2, Full Velocity, Gavlarina for the stable companion from the Terry Yard here. Again, this one won last time out, ran on really, really well. Again, will give a good account of itself, coming back from a 19-week layoff. And again, I don't believe that Full Velocity can give gobsmacked 8 kilos. For fourth, we've gone for horse 4, Kayla's Champ. Gabriel Peterson gets a ride here for Fani Broncos. Is much better than his poor last efforts. We go back and look, has beaten Gallic Princess, has run close to Full Velocity, and again, worthy inclusion in back end of trifectas and quartets. So race 7, 6, 1, 2, 4, and we think that 6 is the banker in all exotics. The 8th race in the card, due off at 15:45, classified stake over 1450 meters. And in the 8th race, guys, we found our value bet for the day. This is horse number 2, Iron Tail. Chase Majon for Cornet Spiss. Last 2 efforts been really, really good. Last time out was outpaced over 1200 meters, but was finishing hand over fist. Time before that did win over 1400 meters. And I really believe that this 1450 will shoot this one down to the ground. Nasty drawn at 4. And if Chase can keep this one 4 or 5 off them turning for home, I think 8 or 10 to 1 is great each way value. For second, we've gone for horse number 3. This is Power Ranger. Gavin Arena for Roy Magna. Gavin rode it 2 runs back, finishing 1 3/4 lengths behind Corvette Captain. That was a decent effort. Last time out, finished second to Kalahari Blue. Very, very speedy sort. I do think the 1450 is within its grasp, and again, shouldn't be left out of permutations. For third, we've gone for the 9 After Hours. Ryan Munger for St. John Gray. Third run after rest. The last 2 efforts have been decent, and again, worthy inclusion in larger perms. For fourth, we've gone for horse number 8, Dark Tide. Calvin Abib for Fani Broncos. Had excuses last time out. Time before that, 5 lengths to Never Too Clever, then 3 lengths to Twice a Storm. Those are not bad efforts. Is drawn nicely at 2. If you take in exotics, throw all 4 in, because should the 8 arrive, you'd be one of very, very few to go through. So race 8, we go 2, 3, 9, 8. We do think that round about 8, 10 to 1 is a nice price on the 2, and we are going to take some each way bets with that. We'll move on to the lucky loss, off at 16:20, another classified stakes over 1450 meters. And here we think that the best bet on the card is horse number 2. This is Kalahari Blue. Keegan de Mello retaining the ride here for Johan Janssen van Vuren. Round about 16 or 18 to 10, I think, is a great price. This one won really, really well last time out. I don't think the 1450 will be a problem for Kalahari Blue. Again, taking a chance, we can banker this one as well. Load up earlier on, and as I said, our best bet on the card. For second, I have gone for horse number 1, Aravicchio. Muzieni for Mike de Kock. Was not disgraced last time out, finishing 3rd behind Profit. Was running on, and again, will give a decent account of itself. For third, guys, we've gone for horse number 6, Prosper Gift. Chase Mojan for Fani Broncos. Below par effort last time out, behind Bay Sue. But the runs prior to that are not too bad. Nicely drawn at 5. And again, if Chase can hold this one up, should be finishing when others have cried enough. For fourth, gone for a nice roughie, horse number 9, Mandela Effect. And this is Julius Mariba for Gavin van Zyl. Had excuses last time out over 1900 meters. I do think reverting back in distance will suit this one better. We know how well the Van Zyl yard has been doing in Gauteng, and if one is taking trifectas and quartets, throw this one in. Should this one arrive, certainly make it pay. So race 9, 2, 1, 6, and 9. Guys, please just check for jockey changes, check for scratchings, check for betting support on first timers. Look after yourself, take care. Stevie, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, the postman. We appreciate your input, your hard efforts in studying, and hopefully you steered the guys in the right direction. We've been in fantastic form lately, so please, Lord, let it continue. So, guys, all in all, enjoy your racing, have fun, break a leg, and cheers for now.